Yo, it's Heritage from Heritage Beats, and welcome to the new year of 2021. Happy New Year's and Merry Christmas and all of that good stuff. I know it's been some time, but I'm more than happy to get back into this beat breakdown. So, in this episode, I wanted to focus on getting you familiar with the FL Studio software so you won't be confused on which buttons to click and making sure you don't get lost in the FL Studio software. So with that being said, let's get into this beat breakdown. So first things first, if you're a little confused on the arrangement of each button, you might want to go to channels. You might want to go to view, arrange windows, and go to default. Because sometimes when you minimize the program of FL Studio, it rearranges the buttons and you might be confused that way. So number one, you want to make sure that each button is in the right place. So again, go to view, go to arrange windows, and go to default so it arranges each button in their correct spot. So with that being said, there is 5 main buttons that you need to understand to work your way through FL Studio. So first is the playlist button. This takes you to your main playlist where you can throw in your samples and your patterns from your step sequencer. So you can pretty much, for example, I'm going to find a random sample to throw inside of Arcade so we can start building the beat. Let's start with this one. It's random. I'm gonna start being random with y'all. Oh damn, I think I just lost it. Hold on a second. Alright, so as you can see, you can throw, this is where you'll throw all your main samples into the main playlist. And later I'll show you exactly how to do the timing and how to stretch out the samples to make sure your sample is on time. But for now, I just want to show you the playlist button, which is this. And I wanted to show you that takes you to the playlist, your main playlist, where you throw in your samples. So that's the first button. So this is your step sequencer. Pretty much this is where you throw in all your drum loops. And after you throw in your drum loops, you're putting your step sequencer pattern into your main playlist on top of your sample. So I just made this quick hat pattern. I'll show you how to do this later. And you put this hat pattern on top of your sample, or however you want to rearrange your song or arrange your song. So let me just show you real quick how that sounds. Hold on. So this is the sample, and this is where you'll throw pretty much you'll throw in your step sequencer pattern, and in this case I built a hat pattern, and you throw that on top of your sample, and it'll sound like this. And it'll sound like this. And as you can see, the time or the duration is playing through. And that is your step sequencer button. And then after your step sequencer button, which where you throw in all your drum samples, after that you got your piano roll. And this is where you pretty much play your pianos and all your keys. But to do that, you need to load up a VST or a plugin, and I'll show you how to do that later. But for now, I just wanted to show you that this is your piano button, the piano roll button. This is where you be throwing in all your piano keys and sometimes your drum samples. I'll explain all that later. And after that, inside of your piano roll, this is your piano key notes. And when you click in your notes, this is the velocity or pretty much the volume or which it plays. I'll get into all that later, but for now, that is the piano roll button. And after piano roll button, you got your browser. So in your browser, this is where all your main sounds are going to be. This is where you load up all your sounds. So for example, I threw in this little hat sample, and that's where I used to build in that hat pattern. In this step sequencer into the playlist on top of this sample. So again, let me just play it for you. And if you take that out, the hat wouldn't play. Or if you take off the sample, you would just hear the hat. So as you can see, you can throw in samples into the playlist, and you can throw them inside your step sequencer. But the easiest way to insert your samples into your step sequencer, you want to right click it, the sound you want to select, and then click open a new sampler channel. Because sometimes if you accidentally drag a sound into one of these files, you can't undo that, and you might throw that into a plugin or a preset, and you can't undo that mistake. Excuse my kitty right here. This is my little baby right here. So, excuse me, baby. So after the playlist, so you got the playlist button. First you have your playlist button that takes you to your main playlist. And then you have your step sequencer button where you throw in all your drums and samples. And then you have your piano roll button, and this is where you play all your piano when you load up your plugins and VSTs. And then after that you have your browser button where you load up all your individual sounds. I'll show you how to load up your sounds later. And then after that you got your mixer button. So in this mixer button, when you click this mixer button, it takes you to your master bus. So this is pretty much where all your individual sounds should be. So this is where you'll send all your samples to these mixer tracks. So this is where you can start mixing, mastering each sound. So one thing about FL Studio, when you throw in a sample into the step sequencer, it doesn't send it to its own mixer track. So you would pretty much, it's not auto routed. So you would pretty much have to assign its own free mixer track to get into this master bus. We'll get into all that later, but for now just know this is the mixer button. So this is your playlist button that takes you to your main playlist where you throw in your samples and your step sequence patterns. And this is your step sequencer button that takes you to your step sequencer where you throw in all your individual samples to build up a drum pattern. And then you have your piano roll where you play your piano. And then you have your browser button where it takes you to all your individual sounds. And then you have your mixer track. So that's pretty much the 5 basics of FL Studio that you need to know so you won't get lost into this program. So before I wrap up this video, I just want to show you real quick how to build a quick simple beat. So was this a sample? So we started off with this sample. So let's build something from scratch real quick. So we got this. I'll explain what I'm doing in the next video, but I'm gonna just build a beat real quick just because I feel like it. pattern already, so now I'm gonna just build this snare pattern real quick. So first things first, when you're building a beat, and you know what? Now I'm building a kick pattern. Let me find a kick. Yeah, I just turned down that pitch. I like it better like this. So. And that's pretty much how you start off a quick beat. And that is the 4 or 5 basic buttons that you need to know to start operating your way through FL Studio. So with that being said, that concludes the beat breakdown. So now let's get into this music review. So just again, to remind you, in this section, I do a music review for 3 randomly selected artists that I chose for submission. So what is the King's Crown Award? The King's Crown Award is an award for an artist who I believe has the strongest submission based on each season of the beat breakdown. There will be a new King's Crown Award each season. And the winner of the King's Crown Award will either get the 100 beat Heritage bundle or the 50 lo-fi beat bundle or the Heritage Platinum Circle access for free. And that is only for the winner of the King's Crown Award. So with that being said, let's get into this music review. So first up here, we got G Ozzy. So for each submission, I'll be rating each artist on the delivery of their flow, their lyrics, and the quality of the beat. So with that being said, let's get into this first submission.
In my ride, I got my smoke, my thigh, my piece of my back, bitch on the side, my ride. In my ride, my ride, my ride. In my ride, in my ride, in my ride, in my ride, my ride, my ride. Yeah, pushing on me in the stage in that all black Jeep. Got my heat in my backpack, you know we keep it street. Smoking trash bags of that gas before we 23. Drinking 19 years old, fell in love with Hennessy. Can't be riding with G if you can't handle the smell. Smoking like a big speaker, cause the smoke loud as hell.
And that is 60 seconds right there. Okay, G Ozzy, I'm gonna tell you right now, that was pretty dope. For your rating, the beat, I'm gonna give it an 8. Your lyrics, I felt like they were pretty strong and strategic. I'm gonna give it an 8. And your flow on the beat, I'm gonna give it an 8. I feel like you done pretty exceptional. Had a specific vision in mind for the lyrics, and you went through with it. I appreciate your work, and I'm looking forward to a collaboration. So with that being said, let's get into this next submission. Next up, we got Reckless. I'm pretty sure you can search him up on Instagram or Facebook through Reckless, RECKLESS, or Spotify, but he has a YouTube link, so let's pull that up real quick. So this is No Surrender by Reckless, and from what it sounds like, it's from one of my beats, so I have high expectations from my boy Reckless. Let's see what you got.
Fell down, I was raised to pick myself back up. Handle business so low. In the end, ain't nobody for backup. Back up, cancel the math. The hands of time take life. Nobody make it alive. They don't know, they ain't here to live life. So live go, cause I'ma live mine like a big old ride. Got my little man that guy to the front of the line. I'm on the far side, life passed me by. Giving my road rash for crashing the garage. Soon as I start break blood from my lip, get the world than I do. Who's not gonna quit? Who's not talking shit? Who kick down the break? No, I'm gonna die, but how long will I live? There's a war going on outside, and there's no surrender.
And that is 60 seconds right there. Okay, Reckless, that was my beat. Pretty impressed by your flow, lyrics. So for the rating of the overall beat, since this is my beat, I don't like to give credit. I don't like to give a good rating to my own beat. So just cause it's mine, I'm gonna give it the beat the 6. And the flow, I'm definitely going to give it a 9. So because on the submissions yet so far in this review, I haven't heard anyone flow that precise and that fast so I'm gonna have to give it a 9. And the lyrics, I'm gonna have to give it an 8. I actually love the structure of the lyrics. The song title is called No Surrender, and I can tell by the lyrics that you had a vision and you follow through with your lyrics. So for your lyrics, I'm gonna give it an 8. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with Reckless. This is REKLESS. As you can tell, he has a pretty dope flow. Any other artists, if you're looking for a collaboration, I definitely recommend Reckless. And I'm looking forward definitely to collabing with you. So with that being said, let's get into this next submission. Shout out to my boy Reckless. So next up, we got The Clout, aka Eza. EZA. So let's go ahead and check out this YouTube real quick. So this song is called Weather With Me. And this song is called Weather With Me. And here we go. Let's get into the submission. And that is 60 seconds right there. So that is my boy. That is my boy, The Clout, aka Eze. So let's get into this rating. So overall, the beat, I'm gonna give it a 6. I feel like it was okay. And so for one positive feedback I'm gonna give for that song is I like the sound of your voice. I just feel like you need to work on the lyrics and the flow on the song. But overall, I feel like you're heading in a good direction. Just practice and just focus on pushing out that music. It's 2021. I'm looking forward to new collaboration, and I have high expectations for artists for the year of 2021. So with that being said, that concludes the beat breakdown and the music review. And to conclude, so for episode 3, I pretty much showed you how to get familiar with the FL Studio software so you won't get confused on which buttons to click that can ultimately leave you in confusion. So hopefully this video helped you out a little bit with knowing the 5 main buttons that you need to know to work your way around FL Studio. So with that being said, that concludes this beat breakdown episode. In the next episode, I'll show you how to build a beat from scratch and give you some more clarity and explain some more buttons as we dive through FL Studio. So on episode 6, I will be giving out the King's Crown Award. I'll be giving more details on the King's Crown Award in your email. So with that being said, blessings and love to all of you on your journeys. Looking forward to some more collaborations. With that being said, this is Heritvge signing out. Go.